Walking Dead has a lot of seasons and a lot of episodes, and I'm going to be going through every single season from season 1 all the way through to season 11, and also all of the Fear the Walking Dead seasons and Dead City, DARYL DIXON and World Beyond seasons, because I've seen all of them. So let's just get straight into it. We're going to start with the OG series, The Walking Dead, season 1. Now, season 1, the OG season, these are separated into A and B. So we've got season 1, just the whole season, because I think it was only like 8 episodes long. So we've got season 1 will be going into, I would say, the good category. I don't think I'm going to say great, like put in the top. Like great's going to be like the top category, and I think I'll just leave season 1 in good because it was good. It's what got me into the show, and it was just a great, short season, but it was good. I don't think it can stay on the level of some of the other seasons that are here that are really good. For example, season 2, season 2A. I'll put season 2A in good, but high good. I don't know if I'm going to keep these ranked from left to right, but I'll keep season 2A higher than season 1 because I think season 2 was better than season 1, but this is season 2A. Now season 2B will go into the great category because season 2B is one of the greatest seasons in the whole show. Most people argue the best season in the whole show, but the ending part of season 2B with Shane turning on Rick and the whole fall of the farm, Herschel's farm, and everything leading up until that point, like Sophia's death was great. The group with Dale trying to decide if they want to kill Randall or not. It was a good season. It had a good amount of drama in it, and overall one of the best seasons ever. Season 3A, the start of the prison arc. Season 3A was decent. I don't know if I want to put it on, the level of season 2A, and season 1. But it was a decent season. I don't think it was extremely enjoyable, but compared to season 3B, I'll put that into good category because season 3B was really good. The stuff with the governor and all that was just amazing. The governor is still a top villain. He out of all the villains we've seen in The Walking Dead, there's been a lot of villains. The governor is still one of the most memorable ones, and if he's the most memorable, then he's done a great job. Season 4A, we got season 4A. I think I want to put this in good. You're gonna see it a lot of the earlier seasons, they're going to be high up on this list because they were just so good, man. And then once we start getting into the later ones, you'll see they'll start to drop a bit. But season 4A was good. Season 4A was the start of peak. This is where peak really started, especially I think the end of season 4A where the prison got absolutely destroyed and all the walkers just infiltrated it, and the governor died, and that whole ending with the governor killing Herschel and stuff was just peak. It was just amazing. It was truly cinema, man. But season 4B, honestly, it was great. Season 4B was so good. This is the start of the Terminus arc where they were on the road after the fall of the prison, and they were trying to find somewhere else to, move to, and they found all these signs on the train tracks, Terminus Sanctuary for All. They go there and they're all cannibals. But I think this was a season where Rick also started wearing the murder jacket because he stole it from one of those people from Daryl's crew that he found, because the whole group was all separated. Rick and Carl were separated, and Michonne, they were separated. Daryl was separated with this new group, and you see them later on where Rick bites the guy's throat out. They were pieces of shit, but they were good villains as well. I think Tyrese, Carol, and Lizzie and Mika, I think, were on their own group. And that's also where we got, you know, Carol's famous scene, look at the flowers, and the kids, that was like really messed up. I think it was Lizzie that killed her sister, her younger sister, which was just, it was just so bad, but so bad in a good way. But honestly, that season just kicked off probably the best season. I'm just gonna put both these at the top. Season 5B and season 5A. Oh my god, these were the best seasons I've ever watched in any TV show. I'm pretty sure they are the highest view count season out of all the shows, out of most shows in the world. Like, they hit almost, I think, 20 million views or something, if I'm not mistaken. But season 5 was just, it was just amazing, man. It was truly peak The Walking Dead, man. You can't get better than season 5, you know. And also, you know, the stuff leading into them finding Alexandria after, you know, the whole Terminus, you know, cannibal stuff. The church where Rick killed Gareth, the red machete, you know, them on the road, you know, in the storm. There was just a lot of great things that came out of this season. And I think this is the season that Beth died as well, which is season 6A. I know a lot of you aren't going to like this, but season 6 was just amazing. Season 6B as well. Season 6B honestly goes into great, because season 6 was such a good season. The ending cliffhanger was just brilliant, man. It was just brilliant. You can't, like, with the introduction of Negan, how they built him up, like, he was a scary dude. Like, the way they portrayed him with the build up, and everyone saying, "Oh, I'm Negan, I'm Negan," and then we get to that scene, the lineup scene, and it just leaves you on a cliffhanger. I think it was just perfect, man. I mean, if people didn't like it, you had to wait a year to find out who he killed, but my god, it was the most anticipated episode of all time. It was, Negan was the most anticipated villain. He's like the biggest, you know, in the comics, he's like the big bad villain, like the best villain of all time. And out of all these Walking Dead shows, he quite literally is the best villain of all time. So season 6, and also season 6 had one of my favorite episodes. I think it was No Way Out, where the walkers broke into Alexandria after wolves attacked, and Carl got shot in the eye. That was like one of my favorite episodes of all time. That scene was just amazing, where Carl got shot, and you know, the whole scene of them, you know, fighting back all the walkers in the Alexandria was just too good, man. Season 7A. Now we're getting to like the downers, and honestly, you know, I see where it was bad. Like, the first episode of season 7 was amazing. Like, the first episode of season 7, the mid-season finale, and the final were really good episodes. And it's just too bad, like, the filler episodes in between was just so bad. Like, I don't want to put this in bad, but I kind of have to, because if 3 episodes of the season were good and the rest were shit, because there's 16 episodes in a season, and a lot of the filler, like, was bad. And I get why they did it, because, you know, Glenn died, Abraham died. It was gonna be a depressing, you know, Rick was like Negan's bitch for like the whole season, and I get the tone of it. It was just not fun to watch, but it was realistic. You know, everyone's miserable. You know, Rick doesn't want to fight because he's like fucking traumatized, but Maggie wants to you know, fight back, and Rick doesn't, Michonne does. And when you finally see Rick finally, you know, go to war in the end and start the you know, the war, which was I think started in the second half, which is also going into the bad category. It was alright, but I don't know if I can put it higher, especially there's some, you know, comparing it to the level of season 2 and season 4 and season 5. It just doesn't compare at all. Season 8A, the start of the war, I'll give it, like, it was much better. Like, them preparing for war, gathering, people, like the Kingdom, Hilltop. It was great. It was a good build up to the war. And season 8B was, I'd put it at decent as well, but this is staying on the bottom half of decent, mind you, because I don't know. I felt like, as bad as these seasons were, they were still enjoyable. Like, you still had a great cast, you had great characters, and you had great build up to a great war. Like, the whole Rick versus Negan thing was like the best thing. Like, oh, is Negan gonna die in the end, or is Rick gonna die in the end? Are they gonna do something like unpredictable? Because this is The Walking Dead, they do unpredictable stuff all the time. No main character in this show is safe at all. You saw with Glenn dying, like, people thought, yeah, he died in the comics, but he's such a big character, they might not kill him, but they did. And now you look at the end of season 11, most of the main characters are all dead, or gone, or left the show. I think the only 2 from season 1 are Rick, Daryl, and Carol. I think are the only 3 left main characters, and that's pretty crazy. Considering the fact that Rick left in season 9. So, which brings me, season 9. This is what started the new era of The Walking Dead. I think this is the Angela Kang era. Season 8 ended with Scott Gimple, and I think Angela Kang took the creative and it created a whole new vibe of the show. It was very different. You could tell it's different. You watch season 8B and then you go into season 9 and it's very different, and you can tell it's different, and it was good. It was really good. Season 9A was Rick's last season. He left in the mid-season finale. He went off in the the helicopter, which is obviously leading into the new Ones Who Live show that's coming next month. And yeah, honestly, this was a good season. It was refreshing. The writing was good compared to season 7 and 8. The writing was great. Season 9B, honestly, was really good too. And honestly, I'm tempted to put these in the great category because they were great. But it's just a shame the ratings weren't as good because people, went off The Walking Dead because of season 7 and 8. So they kind of missed that The Walking Dead made a pretty good comeback, and a lot of people missed that. And season 9B, I don't know if I can put it in great, but it stays in good. Season 10A, from my understanding, it was pretty good. You don't have Rick anymore in the show. It's very different without Rick. Like, the vibe of the show is quite different. But you have more stuff with DARYL being a lead, he's talking more, he's getting dialogue, he's actually getting good writing now. So I think they did well without Rick considerably. Season 10B, I'll put in decent. And season 10C is honestly horrible. Season 10C was so bad, man. There was one or two good episodes. I think I liked the episode where DARYL was looking for Rick. And the Lucille and Negan episode was very good. But apart from that, I don't know why they did this. They made like a third part of the season because of COVID, because they wanted to trade us or whatever. I don't know why they didn't just have that as a separate season. But instead they extended like season 11 past 22 episodes or something, and they were just awful. Like, you had this episode with Carol chasing a rat the entire episode, and that literally was the entire episode, and it was probably the worst episode in the entire show. So honestly, it's in horrible. I know a lot of people put season 7 in horrible, but season 10C was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Season 11 now. My god, where do we start with season 11? Season 11, the start of the Commonwealth arc, it was good. I don't know if it was great. Like, this is where it started feeling long watching The Walking Dead. Like, I'll put it in decent because they put, I think they put too many episodes and there was too many fillers. It was taking too long to get to the point, to the end, because they started this 3-part seasons, ABC, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm more of a fan of the new spin-off shows that are less episodes, sometimes longer episodes, but shorter seasons, which, you know, quality over quantity is much better than obviously having a ton of episodes and a ton of filler, which you don't need. It was still decent. 11B and 11C. 11C's got to go in decent because the ending of the show wasn't too good. Maybe they should have ended the show sooner, but I don't know. 11C, like, it felt good. Like, the ending was nice. Like, I'd be satisfied with the ending. It wasn't like horrible, like a Game of Thrones bad kind of ending, but it was decent. It did the job. I don't think I can say more than decent for season 11, to be honest. Now, Fear the Walking Dead. Now, this is a tricky one because I wasn't a big fan of the Fear the Walking Dead at all. I was a big fan of the earlier seasons, but the later seasons, I'm just not a fan of it. Season one was good. I'll put season 1 in good because season 1 was pretty decent. Like, it, you know, did its purpose of showing what The Walking Dead didn't show before the apocalypse started, leading into the start with all the bombs dropping, you know, the fall of LA and stuff. Like, I mean, the last time I watched this was a long time ago, so my memory is a bit hazy of this. But if I've forgotten a lot of stuff, then it's not that good. And not that good begins with season 2. Honestly, all of season 2 is going in bad. I wasn't a big fan of this. Like, it was alright, but I struggled to get through it, if I'm being honest. I think this was one of the shows where I'd start watching and then I'd stop and then I'd have to come all the way back and binge it. And then I'd stop watching it again and it was just, I don't know, it was long. But I'll give credit where credit's due. Season 3A was great. I'm not saying it's on the level of these Walking Dead seasons, but because this is a separate show, for the Fear the Walking Dead, this is probably its best season out of all the seasons in Fear the Walking Dead. Season 3 was so good. Man, Nicholas was my favorite character in the whole show. I was pretty pissed off when he died. He didn't die in this season. He died in, like, I think season 4 or 5. But season 3 and season 3B, I'll put into season 3B. I'll put into good. But season 3 was probably the best season of the show. Season 4A, this was the season I think The Walking Dead season 8 led off into, with Morgan going into Fear the Walking Dead. Honestly, it was horrible. It was just straight dog shit, man. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, can't even explain how bad this was. I don't know if it's just me, but I absolutely hated this season. The whole season's going in horrible, man. I do not, if I was to rewatch, I'd skip a lot of these episodes, but it was awful. Season 5 was bad. I couldn't get into this show, man. Like, this is where I was struggling. Like, I was really struggling. Like, the villains were forgettable. The story was bad. I remember season 4 had like this really dark coloring for the whole season, and it was just awful to look at. It was like really blue and dark and gritty, and it was just a horrible thing to look at. But season 6 did pick up a bit, and it will go in decent. And season 6B was decent as well, because this actually kept me going. I think I watched through the whole season live, but I think this was the season with Ginny. She was a good villain, Ginny, with Morgan, her killing Morgan. I think she killed Morgan at the end of season 5. Well, not killed him, but like she shot him. We thought he was dead. And then he comes back and it's like, is he like dead? And the walkers aren't, I think it was just because he smelt really bad, like he smelt like a corpse, because he had like an infection with his gunshot wound. But yeah, season 6 was a decent season. It was a good leg up from the previous seasons that were pretty bad. Season 7, the Tower season, with Strand being a bloody arsehole. This was good. This had me intrigued. Like, I enjoyed season 7 with the whole nuke, the aftermath of the nuke stuff and the stuff with Alicia losing her arm. It was pretty good. I kind of enjoyed it, like, quite a bit. It had its like boring episodes and stuff. Like, I actually did stop watching some way through, and I had to like continue, and I didn't come back to it till like I think season 8 started, so I had to come back and watch it. But season 8A was decent, and season 8B was honest. Actually, you know what? I switched these only because the ending of season 8 was pretty good. For the most part, like the stuff with Dwight going back to the sanctuary and Morgan going off to find Rick, I enjoyed those stuff. And the stuff with Madison coming back was alright. Her and Troy having that back and forth kind of stuff. But season 8A, I think season 8A was the season where she was working for those people, taking the kids and stuff. I don't know. It took me a while to get through like the first part of season 8. And the only reason I finished season 8 was because I saw some stuff about Dwight and Morgan, with the, connecting to the main Walking Dead's universe stuff. So there's that. And, Fear the Walking Dead, not my favorite show. Probably my least favorite show out of all these shows, if I'm being honest. Actually, no, I'll take that back. The Walking Dead World Beyond might be the worst show out of all the shows. Season 1, I'll be nice and I'll put it in bad. I hated this show. I thought it was cringe. The kids in the show was just awful. They were cringe. I couldn't stand watching them. I get the whole stuff of telling the lore. Telling the lore of all the CRM. Who's in charge, and how evil they actually are behind the scenes, as good as this whole community looks. How big it is, how many people live there like normal, like there's no zombie apocalypse basically for them, because they've got schools, they got hospitals. It's like nothing ever happened really. They got like law enforcement stuff, but they've got like stuff, I think, behind the scenes. They were like experimenting on walkers, or doing like, they were killing actual people. And some of this stuff was in the Walking Dead show as well, with Jadis, who also appeared in the World Beyond season 2, which I put in decent. It was alright. This was starting to get enjoyable, especially the ending with Jadis, and she even name drops Rick at the end. But overall, the World Beyond, by far, not the worst show, the worst Walking Dead show. It was really just a show just to explain, the CRM stuff before the Rick Grimes and the other spin-off stuff happened, so who the CRM are, so they don't have to explain it in The Walking Dead. The ones who live. Tales of the Walking Dead. I actually watched this show. This was good. I'll put this in good. It's like an anthology series where they show just different kind of characters in their Walking Dead universe. They even had, I think, one with Alpha, and she was kind of younger, with like a young Lydia, and that was good. All these episodes were pretty good, especially the Terry Crews one. I really liked the Terry Crews one. That was a good episode. But yeah, Tales of the Walking Dead. It was a nice nice little show. But yeah, Dead City season 1 was good. I really like this show. This is probably my favorite one out of the new spin-off shows. But it was a pretty good. It didn't really feel like too much of a Walking Dead show, but it was a good show on its own. You know, the bad guy was good. He had a good story and a good backstory with Negan. You know, back in the sanctuary, and he was a pretty evil dude as well. So it was a good show. Daryl Dixon was good. I enjoyed it. I don't like how he's stayed in Paris. I don't know how long he's going to be in Paris for, because he's meant to be looking for Rick, and now he's just staying there like that's his new home now. You know, I get why it makes sense story-wise, but I just want to see him go and see Rick, you know. I just want to see that reunion. And it looks like it's being delayed now because Daryl Dixon's getting a season 2 now. Dead City's getting a season 2 now, so I don't think any of those characters are meeting up with Rick anytime soon. But on its own, they're good shows. Like, they had good bad guys. Daryl Dixon had a really good ending as well. I really enjoyed the ending of it, especially with those people in that little pit where they had the fight and they had like the injected walkers and they were like beefed up, you know, rage mode walkers. But overall, Daryl Dixon and Dead City were pretty good shows. Wouldn't say anything like amazing about them, but they were good shows. But yeah, that's my overall rankings of every single season as of today. This is before The Ones Who Live came out, so maybe after The Ones Who Live, maybe I'll do another one. But this is my updated tier list for 2024 of The Walking Dead TV series season rankings. So if you enjoyed, you want more of this, leave a like, and thanks for watching. Get out of here.